The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach, dear friends, do we go. And very interesting day. Just grazing through Andy Heck's new articles he just posted. Maybe he'll put them in the tin. Anyway, very interesting. We were having a brief discussion before the start of the show on Bitcoin. He's written an article about that. I'm a big fan of the blockchain, not so much a fan of the Bitcoin. But we'll talk more about that. I did post it in there. Anyway, we've got a lot of stuff going on out here. And, of course, I am your host, your warm, squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach, dear friends, do we go. Anyway, got a very interesting... I have to admit that I am so tired. You're supposed to go on a vacation to rest up, and it seems like it's just the opposite, isn't it? How many times have you gone on a vacation and been just glad to get home from the vacation so that you could rest? Well, I had a great deal. I mean, a massive amount of sailing going on this weekend, and most of it was I decided to take the basically 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. because I didn't trust everybody else to stay up and not kill us in the middle of the night. So did a lot of sailing, had a lot of fun, but of course that gets you out of kilter for the market, but also gets you kind of out of kilter when you come home. And I took a little nap before the start of the show, so I think I can make it through this hour and then get acclimated to get back to regular hours and maybe rest up a little bit tonight. So that is. Anyway, we've got no shipwrecks, no big stories other than some beautiful sailing, some off and on rain. And tell you what, I never knew how nice it was to have inside sailing on a sailboat. We were on a 50-foot catamaran, and, for the most part, at least on the ride down and the ride back from Marathon Island, just couldn't ask for better wind direction both there and back, and be out 50, 75 miles offshore in the deep water where the water actually fairly calm for some nice 10, 15 mile an hour winds, dodging a great deal of weather. And I tell you what, weather satellite on a little boat, worth all the money in the world. And wasn't so much ours, it was just being able to get internet signals off this boat. But very neat, very fun, just a great weekend. And of course, if anything is funnier, it's trying to trade off a cell phone. I actually was buying into Friday's close. I thought that the chance of us having a nice little bounce here this morning, and by nice, I meant 30 points or more in the S&P cash. In fact, I emailed somebody, I think either Friday night or Saturday morning, that there was an 80% chance we were going to get a massive bounce out of today. And that was because we were about a billion, I'm not doing Dr. Evil here, 1.5 billion shares short on the downside if we were going to see continued downside. My theory has been we've been in kind of a trading range of about 1930 on the S&P cash to 1970. We got about 5 points higher than that. They drove it down, to 1912 or something on Friday. But, it's they can get it down a little bit farther than a lot of people think. Probably a little harder to get a little higher. My belief, though, is that we are in this trading range, and we're going to be in this trading range until the FOMC meeting. My guess is that just before the FOMC meeting, we're probably going to break out to the upside. And my thought is that we could see, at least technically, a rally all the way to 2030 before it may be time to short again. So I'm short-term bullish. I am medium-term, maybe bearish, but it's kind of tough to hear. We're going to talk about the news in a while, but one of the reasons why I'm have moderated the downside, I think, to a great deal in these stock markets is the way that the money is rolling out of China and Asia, and it's coming home to Papa. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. But I think our market is really starting to look like the prettiest girl at the fair, not the least ugly in the 10-foot stick competition with lots of little circles from the end of a pole being poked by somebody. Actually, in fact, with one of the biggest bearers out here, we're going to get into him in a little while. His discussion on China really made me think that we're probably a little bit better off here in the United States. And I wanted to look at a sector that I think we talked about before, but I have a feeling that after the political moves and decisions that are basically military over the last few days and into today, that we've got probably one of the hottest sectors, and we'll talk about the reasons for that. In the meantime, as always, I like to start off the show with just a little bit of history.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is a wonderful day out there. And Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Southern Cross. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm kind of worn out about playing Jimmy Buffett songs and Southern Cross, but very apropos. But, Billy, I have to tell you that I lived up north in 1979, 80, 81, I think 82. And there were weeks and months where it was minus 10 below zero during those 3 years. And I sat under a heat lamp in my bedroom in a basement, which was actually probably one of the more warmer places to be in a house with minus 10 outside. But it was under that heat lamp, drinking Hawaiian punch, thinking of any kind of nice day that I could go boating again. But I live in Florida now. Those days are just a distant memory. Anyway, I think we already played history, didn't we? If we didn't, I'll play it again. Anyway, on this day in 1930, Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing sends out its first shipments of an amazing new waterproof, transparent product that the company thinks may have large possibilities. It's called Scotch tape, supposedly from the stinginess from which the company first coated the surface with a small amount of adhesive. Its rapid success in the depths of the Depression, penny-pinching Americans use it as cheap tool for everything from resealing cans to helping torn fingernails, and only a slightly second place to duct tape, which we all know the world will fall apart without. Duct tape. Our new sponsor here at TFNN and the Power Trading Hour. Duct tape for all your taping needs. Anyway, what else do we have out here? Apple, of course, they're in a couple of days going to show off their new phone. The question is going to be, with now pretty much all of the companies showing the price of the new phones as secondary on your bill, what and if this will have a major effect. Most companies are showing this as a lease, and it looks to me like there's some business reasons behind it that mean that they'll be able to write off and basically manipulate the way that the books look for the cell phone providers. But, you're talking about $650 and as much as $1,200 from some of the upper end Apple products that will have these cellular providers providing, $20 to $40 worth of monthly payments just for the phone itself. And people complain about the price of a PC. It's beyond me. But that's just the first thing for Apple as we go into the fall. There's several movies that are coming out about Steve Jobs. The newest one was basically shown at a movie, what do they call film festivals. And even Apple's original co-founder said that he thought it was fair and balanced. Apple insiders and people at Apple are screaming that the Sainted One is having any dose of reality. Most of these people tend to be much more like Mr. House than Saint Teresa, although I can point you to some things that people even talking smack about Saint Teresa. But I'll move on. The movies out here are not flattering. One is, of course, a biopic. The other one is a documentary. And the documentary was not helped out by Apple. They would have had their opportunity to put the bright side of Mr. Jobs on display, but they didn't want anything to do with Mr. Gibney's documentaries. He's been a pretty good advocate of the documentary as a movie art form, but it's not going to be all wine and roses for Apple going forward as they try to sainthood hit the founder. I said right after he died, probably 30 days after he's died, that I thought a lot of this stuff would come out in the end, kind of like Edison. Edison was a horrible human being. He knew about innovation. He made some innovations fairly often and then stole stuff for everybody else. Didn't mind watching him dig a ditch after he stole all the stuff. The real robber barons kinds of ideas. Steve Jobs wasn't that far from it. But look for at least some medium to bad press for Apple and its original founder all the way probably through this fall. The tech conferences are actually getting started. Apple's not so much in this, but I wanted to kind of cover it in this tech segment. They will start actually tomorrow. A lot of companies in the tech sector will be giving conferences and presentations to investors, and you may see some forecast, at least in the charts, moves in these tech companies over the next week or two. And you might want to check and see if there's news underlying it about what they say about their future is. This is kind of a broader and much more important view of what is going to happen to them over the long term and the capacity for them to compete. And my guess is that a lot of them are going to be talking about the dollar. Of course, we get into pre-announcement season, of course, starting next week also. And, of course, our FOMC meeting the 16th and 17th, we're a little different. Of course, that's a Wednesday, Thursday FOMC meeting. And when we get back, we'll talk about a few more things going on. And, oh, no, please don't even bring up the record that Ed mentioned.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crisp crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we're back, and my wonderful tropical shirts are back. Anyway, we've got to do a few things out here, and the first has got to be talk about the Chinese.
I like Chinese. I like Chinese.
I do, and of course, one of the things that went on over the last week, I think it was on Thursday, but I can't remember exactly, but I think it was Thursday. Jim Chanos went on NPR with a gentleman I've never heard of, on a show I've never heard of, but he's probably never heard of my show either, so tit for tat. Anyway, he was on an interview, and normally you don't get any kind of more than 5, 10, maybe 30-second answer from Jim Chanos on CNBC. And, of course, the notoriously great short seller, and most people don't know he's made more money even being long. He just doesn't seem to get the same kind of press as when you short a stock. Anyway, he'd been talking about China's problems since about 2009. He did an entire hour where he talked pretty much nothing about how China worked. And there's a few things going on out here. If you want the link to the NPR interview, I recommend that you listen to it highly. It colored my views of the markets, and one of the reasons why I'm a little bit more bullish than I think of some of my cohorts, and I am unafraid, like some of my other cohorts, especially a lot of people on CNBC, that are nothing but have nothing but fear We have nothing to fear, but of course, the market going down, to paraphrase Mr. Roosevelt. Anyway, Jim Chanos got on. I'm going to play a small clip, but he talks about in 2009 when he had kind of a little tremor going up his back. And what happened about that? Oh, we've got a caller. And it's time to go west to Robert. How you doing today, Robert?
Good morning, David, or afternoon. I got a question about Sinclair Broadcasting Group.
Mm-hmm.
The symbol is Sierra Bravo Golf India.
Yep.
And I was talking to your narrator, and they have actually a station, in your Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, they do.
Do you know anything about this company?
They used to be one of my big customers. Go ahead.
Do you know anything about this company?
Yes, I do. Primarily radio, but they do own some TV stations also.
Well, I heard they have a whole bunch of land where they can develop in the future, where they bought all this oceanfront land from this investment club, that they can develop and really expand big time on the wave system of the internet.
So they're a content company. And the question is, will they make the jump from terrestrially broadcast, which is when I knew them, to the new model? And I don't think they can. I'm not a big fan of traditional companies making that break. A few will, most will not, if history serves us as a guide.
Well, what do you think of the chart? I don't like it.
It's in a trading range.
Yeah.
The multiples on these, at least for fundamental investors, will be low and going lower.
That's what I was thinking too. I'd like to buy it around if I was going to get in at about 13.
Yeah, even then, a lot of effort for what I don't think is going to move very much. I mean, the people that you probably want to be in on the content business are people that have successfully already moved out of it.
Oh, there was guys that were bought it at $1.79 and $2.
I meant as a bigger idea. People, businesses that were in content production that have gone from terrestrial broadcast or cable broadcast to streaming, internet broadcast. I would want to find people that have already successfully done that already. I wouldn't want to be betting on a lot of people that have not, which was Sinclair Broadcasting incarnate, along with the rest of them. Comcast, a lot of these guys that are in the traditional sector, I don't see how they're going to move that well and that quickly. The problem is they've got too much momentum in the wrong direction.
Yeah, that's the way it looks on the chart.
They wouldn't be high on my list, although they can bounce up and down a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Mr. White, thank you.
We'll be back to the Chinese when we come back.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Anyway, we're talking about Chanos, and I've got a small clip of it. If you would like the entire clip, which runs about an hour, I can give you the link to it. But this one I thought was very interesting when he was talking about China and how long you can see in front a big problem brewing before it actually blows up in your face.
And my real estate analyst was giving the partners a briefing, and he wrote some numbers on a whiteboard and said currently China has 5.6 billion square meters of high-rises under construction and approved.
Say that again, 5.6?
6 billion square meters, key point. Half office and half residential. And I thought for a second, I said, well, wait a minute, Alex, you mean 5.6 billion square feet, because 5.6 billion square meters is roughly 60 billion square feet. And he turned and he said, I know, I triple-checked the numbers. It's 5.6 billion square meters.
And, of course, the difference being a square meter is about, 12.5 square feet. Anyway, a very interesting conversation, but he goes on for 57 minutes on NPR, so I don't think there are even any commercials. But if you want that, you can always email me at path@tfnn.com. I'll be glad to send you the link. If you are trying to think in any kind of macro way about what's going on in the future of U.S. equity markets, I think it would be highly rewarding for you to listen to it in the long term. If you're trading in 2-minute charts, probably doesn't matter to you at all. And again, I think that there's a little bit more money to be made, a little bit longer term thinking. And I day trade. Anyway, like we said earlier at the beginning of the show, we were buying into Friday. I thought it was an excellent opportunity to go after some shares of some things that I'd been looking at, talking about for a long time. So I took the plunge and well rewarded that particular stock that we bought on Friday, up 5% from its close on Friday. And there's some others that are moving fairly strongly today, and that is the defense stocks. We were talking about those at the beginning of the show, although veiled. And we were talking about the deal with Iran, which I don't see how you read history and say that this isn't a replay of the late 1930s and the policy of appeasement and a foreign policy of isolationism. But we had the Saudis show up over the weekend, visit the president. I suspect that they are telling everybody the same thing, which is they are open for business for buying a variety of things. On Friday, the Israelis dumped another sub that has the ability to launch nuclear missiles. So that is their 5th sub in 4 years. The Mediterranean is now swimming with all kinds of submarines from a little bit of everybody. Of course, the Iranians have theirs, the Israelis have theirs, and these are all diesel boats, so they're not going very far. They're not going to, I don't think any of these boats without major help could make it over here close enough to the United States to launch any of their missiles. But what we do see is a very strong defense sector today. I took these at 130. Boeing was up almost 3%. Orbital, ATK was up 3.37. If you don't know Orbital, they are basically the defense alliance of Boeing and the rest that put up missiles, if you're unfamiliar with them. I think they changed their name and put the thing together. OA's the symbol. I don't know. Don't have a lot of people talking about them. But, of course, as these things heat up, as I think that they will, as the late 1930s as a guide, it looks like we've got a lot of stuff going on over at least in the Mediterranean and, of course, in the Pacific North. Those submarines in Israel, though, strangely enough, have all come from Germany. Great U-boat manufacturers since the 1910s. Anyway, Northern Grumman, of course, make a lot of aviation products and some boats. I think, isn't it the boat division of Grumman that makes our nuclear submarines? Lockheed Martin, of course, all pretty much airplanes and manufacturing. General Dynamics up 1.3, kind of the one coming in the weakest out here. I think probably because of their airplane mix and what they actually sell. But if you're looking for a sector that probably is going to buck the general market, if it doesn't go down, it's hard for me to not see all of these defense contractors, especially after next year change. You hear everybody say, well, it's going to be nice. But the effect of this, at least what the Iranians are already saying, is that they're going to put $1.5 billion into bad things that will be pointed at us and other folks over the next year. Those bad things will explode, maim, and injure everybody. And they continue to say one thing over there, and they tell the world yet another thing. And I just can't read or go through reading. Remember reading Mein Kampf, where he told everybody exactly what he was going to do in the 30s, to the latest tome that the Ayatollah has written 425 pages of how they're going to kill everybody, and they're going to start with the Jews in Israel. So I don't know. You probably want to, if you think that you have to be long a particular sector, I would continue thinking about defense out here. It's hard for me to see that there aren't at least 100 parallels with the late 30s working up to major war. And of course, I didn't talk about it during the segment, but Mr. Chanos is talking a great deal about the way, like I said, I think that interview is absolutely fantastic. They send a lot of people over to China to check it out and get on the ground. But his real insight to the way that the current leader of China respects and admires Putin may tell us a great deal about what's going on in the straits of the South China Seas anytime soon. And of course, they were meeting on last Wednesday. That is Putin and the Chinese Prime Minister. But that's it. It's a mad market, and hopefully I'm wrong about all those things. Unfortunately, I do not think I am. Other things going on, we'll look at a few stocks that are moving strongly. And as we said at the start of the show, I'm going to sit on my hands here. We're headed back up to 1970. And I was kind of surprised we didn't open up there today. I think we're headed to 2030. I can't tell you if we break 2030, 1970 today and head to 2030 right away, although I would not be surprised if we do. My thought is that we will be at that 2030 level probably into the FOMC meeting, if not sooner. So I just bought a bunch of equities and going to sit on my hand. I am long and strong. So we're at 1950. We've got 2.2 billion shares, which is light. I'm not surprised that we are. That probably would reaffirm more that we're in that trading range of 1930 to 1970. Although I think that the volume could pick up over the next few days. Statistically, to the upside, we have stronger volume to the upside than we have lighter volume to the downside at the moment anyway. If you look at Friday's guide being 1.5, almost 1.6 billion shares light, the way that I look at it. When we look at the NASDAQ up 115 points and the Dow Jones up 370 points, there is a time for everything. And right now, I don't think the time is to be short. It is, the market's going down about 1/4 or 1/3 of the time, 1/4. And even if you're going to be short, you either have to have incredibly long time horizons or learn to wait a lot until it's the proper time to short. Anyway, even some of these stocks out at the bottom that have been the prides of the Chinese are making some lows with lighter volume. Yangli Green Energy Holding Company, GYE, has broken below its previous low. Now, granted, this is a dollar stock, but I think we went through some of these last week before I went on vacation. That some of these Chinese stocks look like at least they're going down for a little while. This one, 72 cents with 24 million shares back on the 19th of May, is breaking it with 3.2 million shares today. Does it mean it can't go lower? The answer is no. Am I buying it? No. I am telling you, though, that I suspect that we are seeing a sea change. I'm going to work that back in. And that sea change is a lot of moving maybe moving a lot of that money that was sloshing around in China back to the United States and back into its equity markets. Even with slightly higher interest rates, we've at least come off that 19 earnings per share number that mostly had gone through the S&P, and at least we're back into some normal levels that are somewhere between 14 and 16 on the S&P cash. And that really has helped out a great deal. At least we're not in bubble territory any longer for at least a few of these. Zen Holdings or Zendesk was another one of these stocks. This one actually looked fairly good. We talked about it, I think, a week ago on Monday, about how these stocks had come back in and filled some gaps up. Zendesk, of course, is a recent startup. I don't think it's been around a couple of years. But all they do is help desks for other companies. So you farm out your help desk. But this thing gapped up on the, August 6th of 2014 with 1.1 million shares. Got back into it even on the worst day with 1 million shares. It's got back into its trading range. So they're not all these stocks out here. Of course, Yum Brands was the stock that was supposed to take China by storm. They really hadn't. But even this stock is having a tough time. Much more likely this thing is an ABC down. But I think that this could hit 85, 86 bucks where these two gaps are. In fact, the second gap, I think, is about 87. Those gaps go back to the 11th of August, the 9.6 million shares. So you have some heavy volume down, but even in a downtrend, you're going to have a reversal or a counter trend. But I think that a lot of these stocks just have far too many shorts in them for the conditions of today. We did Greenlane. One of my favorite companies out here is Ubiquity Networks. I've been waiting for this to come back into this gap, and we may be getting it back into this. But another one that heavily depends on foreign sales, not doing all that bad. It got back kind of into its breakout area. I just wish I had the opportunity to get this thing at a little lower price. But one that I'm watching, not such a big signal, but the key thing that I'm looking at is the, the August 9th, 2013 low, when this gapped up on 3 million shares. And I would love for it to get back in there. And this one may be making an ABC back down to that level. I wouldn't be shorting it, but I do like it for our wireless future. This thing's got this is where I'm looking at this thing starting to show up with a little bit of resistance in a confluence area that runs $38.40 to $41.83. That's going to act more as resistance. And we're pretty kind of getting close to touching it already. More interestingly to me would be the expansion to the downside on this one, which is what, $49 on a longer term basis. Let's take a quick look at this. A, B, and a few days ago, if that was the C point, would set us up on a 1-to-1 back to $14.25. I don't suspect we're going to get that. I suspect that this gap between $20 and some cents and 25 bucks is going to hold with that major volume. But one of the stocks I've been thinking about buying for a while. Let's see, what else do we have out here? MR, Mindray Medical. I'll take a quick look at this guy. The reason is, like I said, a lot of these stocks, when I was talking to you last week, were hitting lows. Why the indexes were churning up massive amounts of volume. A lot of stocks weren't turning up any volume at all during the lows. And this was one of them. Mindray Medical Limited. This one actually looks fairly decent out here. I like the low volume down here at the lows. July 7th low. We'll get into that when we come back. You still have plenty of time to give me a call at 877-927-6648.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry, powered by the acclaimed TAS TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. Anyway, we're going to talk about Mindray. There's a lot of stocks out here that are like this. It's just some that shown up lately that make me think that there's some decent trading ranges out here in some of these stocks. Light volume out here today, but really what's caught my attention was on this one was the low of July 7th, $23.93, 1.7 million shares, $23.52, August 24th. This pierced it. It did the standard Jim Wyckoff thing. It went below it, 1.7 million shares. Did it with 1.1 million shares. It's teetering along down here at the bottom. I don't know a lot about the company. I'll probably research it tonight. But even nice little dojis out here. Not a lot of pressure even on some of these stocks that came down. Is it going to be one that I would buy? Probably not if it went sideways for a while. I'm not looking for $4 on a $24 stock. I'm hoping to get much more for a percentage basis. But like I said, I'm kind of bullish out here. I know that goes against the orthodoxy of many people around it. But to me, I see tons and tons of stocks that are like this. Lower volume, testing previous lows. Energy didn't really increase on the way to the downside. And that generally tells me one thing, trading range. Anyway, another one that I was looking at out here was MXL. Let me update this here in just a second. Max Linear. Like I said, a lot of these stocks kind of very interesting. This one is another one that kind of made its low, didn't test its low, but some of these other stocks still, with the markets as horrible as they've been, are coming back and at least testing some of these big gap downs. I wouldn't be shorting $11 stock, but this is the other side of that. It came down with fairly significant volume of 1.7 million shares on the 11th of August. It's back up in here with 220,000 shares. So there's a little bit of everything for people out there. But as I went through hundreds of stocks late last night and into this morning, I continue to see a lot of stocks that have tested previous lows with lighter volume. So if you are bearish, you would want those things to go back up like this one and test their highs or gap downs or something on lighter volume before you start doing that. And I would want to see more than one stock do that, not just a handful. And right now, I continue to see a lot of stocks that have done this pattern. Maybe they are going lower, but at the moment, they want to go back and test or retest higher. And my guess is that we've got that higher range out here that is, once we break 1970, deliberately get a little volume, I think we could get back up to 2030. And there is where I would make a decision whether or not to reshort this market at a higher price. So take that for all it's worth, which is, I don't know. I put my money behind it, and I put my investors behind it in my newsletters. I think that there's some decent money to be made on the upside, even if you think that there's a downside to come. Anyway, as we look at this day, like I said, volume's light, but so was volume light to the downside on Friday going into the weekend. Why we got a 42-point bounce on the S&P cash. Again, I think we can meander around here for maybe a couple more days. Maybe if we had a real big signal at 1970 or a little bit above that. I think we got to 1975 on the cash last time. To me, that would be a much bigger signal. But at worst, we're in a trading range. At best, I think we could go to 2030, something like that on the S&P cash before we have it. And maybe we're just setting up a bigger trading range from those lows where the stock market got slammed down to 2030 or something. But we'll know that when we get back up higher. At least that's one man's call. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. Also, cover your shorts when you can, not when you have to. And we'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.